It begins here. The sound that has been with you ever since the moment you existed. Steady, loyal, human. It is the first code every human runs, and maybe the one we are slowly forgetting. That is the sound of being alive. Not a notification, not a timer, not a click, just life. And yet, somehow, it has been the quietest sound in our world. We wonder a little less. We feel almost enough. Welcome to the age of almost. We live in a time where everything is one step away from perfect, almost happy, almost successful, almost whole. But the closer we get to perfection, the further we are from being. We edit our smiles before we share them. We filter our sadness before we post it. We chase a version of ourselves that always seems always there, but never quite real. And we're always waiting for something, aren't we? Waiting for Friday. Then when Friday comes, waiting for Monday. Waiting for next week, next month, the next version of ourselves. We keep chasing the moment we will finally arrive without realizing we have been here the whole time. We were told to dream big, to shine brighter, to never stop improving. But over time, improvement stopped setting us free. It started building walls. Progress became pressure. Growth became comparison, and improvement became a cage. Because when life becomes a performance, emotions become an act. There was a time when we felt more deeply, when a sunset was enough to make us go quiet, when a single song could shift our entire night, not because it ruined it, but because it made us feel so intensely that we had to stop and breathe. But now, we rush through emotions the way we rush through days, never stopping long enough to actually feel them. We run from sadness, hide from silence, and label vulnerability as weakness. But feeling deeply is the only proof that we are alive. The psychologist Daniel Goleman once said that the truest form of intelligence is emotional intelligence. But today, we rarely ask, "How are you?" and actually mean it. Instead, we ask, "How much?" How much do we earn? How much do we achieve? How much do we impress? But never how do we feel. And now, do you remember when we used to wonder? When we looked at the stars and tried to count them even though we knew we never could? When we stared at the moon and asked where it goes when the sun wakes up? When we watched raindrops race down a window and bet on which one would reach the edge first? We asked why rain falls, why people change, why dreams feel so real. And even when no one answered, we kept asking. Wonder made us explorers, artists, dreamers. It was our way of saying, "I do not know, but I want to find out." But now, we live in a world where every answer is instant and every mystery is solved before we even get to ask. We have stopped looking up. We are too busy capturing moments to actually live them. We record sunsets instead of feeling their warmth. We take photos of memories we never truly experience. And in the rush to know everything, we forgot how to be amazed. Socrates once said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." But between convenience and certainty, we have traded wonder for comfort. Maybe we didn't lose knowledge. Maybe we just lost awe. We chase flawlessness in our grades, our faces, our resumes. But perfection is a beautiful prison. Nothing breaks there, but nothing grows either. We build systems that don't forget, algorithms that never fail, and call that progress. But perfection does not laugh, it does not cry, it does not feel. In our quest to be perfect, we forgot how to be whole. Remember Frankenstein, the scientist who created life to something that was never meant to live? As kids, we read it like a horror story. A monster gone wrong. But maybe it was never about the creature. Maybe it's about the creator, about what happens when curiosity grows louder than consciousness. Today, we built something that can mimic human emotions without ever feeling it. Artificial intelligence is not about the future anymore. It is here, thinking, creating, adapting, learning to imitate emotions we have begun to ignore. The irony is painful. We built machines that act human, while we act more like machines. AI may simulate empathy, but we are the only ones who can truly mean it. We were never meant to be perfect. We were meant to be real, to make mistakes, to get lost, to fall apart and still find beauty in the ruins. Maybe being human is not about knowing everything, but about feeling everything. Maybe it's not about chasing perfection, but daring to wonder again. Because the future will not belong to the fastest or to the smartest. It will belong to those who still feel. One day, machines might think like us, but they will never sit under the stars and wonder why they shine. They will never hear a heartbeat and call it home. So, in this age of almost, feel fully, love loudly, and wonder endlessly. Because the goal was never meant to be perfect. It was to be human. Thank you.